And Thomas, you can take over now.
Okay.
That is.
Here I am. Welcome. Now I need to share my screen.
Yes.
Just welcome everybody. Huh?
I have to give you permission to share your screen first. I did that.
Oh.
So. Now you are. All right.
Let's see if I can do it. Can you see everything?
Not yet. You can't see your screen yet.
That's strange-ish. Ah, okay, I understand. Oops.
Okay, we're just seeing your copies. Okay, now we can see your coDiagnostiX.
Can you see my coDiagnostiX?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome everybody. For us, late evening. I don't know where you all come from, but I will make it short and actually thank you, Nikolai, for the excellent presentation. I'm just seeing years ago, he was my student. I taught him the first steps in coDiagnostiX, and now he's almost a little ahead of me. Very interesting. Thank you, Nikolai. So I'm starting with a sinus lift guide. And for that, there are two different options how to do it, to do the guide design. The first thing I would do like a molar here on the first quadrant. And therefore, I'm setting just a tooth over there. 1.6, okay. Just setting the tools that I have like a little bit for the backward planning. Will be okay like this, okay. And now I'm choosing an implant that I want to use. First, I'm doing the implant setting first. Let's do BLX like 4.5, and it's 1.6, okay. And now I have the implant here, but I want the implant not only a 6mm implant, I wanted an 8mm implant. So up to a certain height, like if this would be a 6mm, that would be maybe possible still with an internal sinus lift, but I want to show you the options if I want to make the external sinus lift. So if I set the implant like this, a little bit subcrestal maybe, I need now a little window on the side to get to the sinus to make an external sinus lift. So how do I do that? I'm using this area here, and I will do like, can we see where it is? The cutting guide, the cut profile that I'm using things like this. I'm just looking where my window would be for to get into the sinus and to make the sinus graft. Okay, now I have this cut profile. You can see that it's here as well, so it goes all the way through. I will show you. We do that. So this is the cut profile. You can see that here on the 3D screen. So on the cut profiles, the yellow part here, the underneath part, is not the cutting part. The cutting part is always the red part here on the top. So how do I change this? I go to Advanced Options and I invert the profile surface. So now my cutting area is underneath here. And I also can close this one so that I have like a window, but that's kind of like a preference how the dentist will have it. Some of the dentists, they want like a round window. Some of them really want a sleeve here, and they do everything with a Straumann drill. And I just make a guide for the windows here on that side. Okay, so now. All right. So now we can already do a guide here. So I will set the sleeve on top of that one here as well. To guided surgery. I actually prefer the T-sleeves. Make it form fit. Maybe like H6. Okay. So this is my first steps, what I have to do. And now I can start to do my surgical guide. But there's one thing. I have now two models. I have the bone and I have my SDL file from the intraoral scan. And you see here on that side, if I just switch the code profile off, it's kind of like disturbing here on the side a little bit. So I have to cut a little bit here from the side from that model in. I edit the mesh, go to cutting, eraser, deep erase, and then I would cut a little bit here from that edge. Okay. Then I just go apply, and I have like the bone shown here. And what I do now, I have take the AI models off, cut profile on, and I'm switching the AI up. So now I have only the bone from the maxilla, and I will use this bone for the surgical guide as well. So what I'm doing is, where's this one? I will change edit mesh. I will change this one into a 3D STL model. So therefore, I just do something real small. Sometimes you have to do it, sometimes not. I'm just cutting here. I'm cutting here an edge off, and give the erase, and then I can save it as a copy. And now it's I don't know why it's in German, but anyways, because I did it before. This is maxilla copy. So now I have a copy of the bone and I have my STL file. So if I go now back into the mesh editor, edit mesh, and now I can combine those. Select object B, and object B is my upper jaw, and the one that I cut it, and then I can apply the operation and I combine both in one model. So I have a bone and ginger model. sometimes comes handy this way to do it this way, even in other cases, if you want like a combination of a gingiva supported and bone supported surgical guide. So, lie. So now I have to support this model. So it's overkiefer copy or maxillar copy, and now I can start doing my bone reduction, not bone reduction, my sinus graft guide, and I can do a combination with the surgical guide as well. I can do everything in one piece. So now I have the combined model, and what I usually do, I just put it a little bit on that side so you see a little bit better that you don't have any undercuts here on the bone. I hit the next button, then all the undercuts will be blocked out. And then see what I can do here. So now, because in the beginning, I clicked on with cut profile, so the sleeve were cut off. So, but I'm just putting the sleeve back on, and then I just use with a few clicks here. I'm doing like the surgical guide, like I usually do. This is 1, 4, 1, 5. Okay. See, that is a good connection here. Maybe, so this scan was not really too far to the back, so it actually, I would prefer to do kind of like a little rest here on the gingiva, on the area, what is it, 6, 7, 8. But the scan from the doctor was not, because it didn't picture the case, the scan from the doctor was not too far distal, so I had to live with this one. So then I hit the next button, offset. This is what we use, but let me just try this one. I like when the surgical guide is a little bit thinner. It's not that the walls are too thick, and during the surgery you have really something really bulky. I have seen some that are 4 millimeters, 3.54 millimeters. This is really not really fun to work with in the patient's mouth. So let's see how it looks like. So now, because we only want it on the side, on the outside of the bone and not all the way through the bone, I cut the oral part off. So you see, you cannot change anything here. And then let's see what the software is designing for us. And maybe we have to do some changes. But it looks quite good. So now I have a combination here between my cutting area for the external sinus graft. And now I can just do some inspection windows here as well to see that the surgical guide is sitting perfect. I changed a little bit my way of working, attending a lot of surgeries, and it appears that it's much better to do the inspection windows from the oral side, because when the doctor looks at the patient's mouth, he can see these parts much better. So I switched over. It used to be that I did those on the outside, but now we changed it. So just looking if all the connections are big enough. Okay, so sometimes you have that this part is really thin, or both parts are divided. So there are two parts, nothing in between, and there's really no connection. And then I show you the second option, how you can do the guide with the combination of two guides. Okay, this is the first option. And we're just going next. We don't have to put anything on there. And apply. So there I have my first guide. Of course, preferences, you can just in the settings, you can make this a little bit thinner here, that you just don't have to open the gingiva too much. So I can do this also a little bit thinner as well. So let's do the next guide. So let's say you don't have the chance that everything is connecting. I'm going here with cut profile to the next one. I do actually the same thing I used to do before. Just in this case, I make two guides. So let's see, 1, 2. I do one small guide, so-called, you don't even have to do it that long. So I do two small guides. So this would be one guide. Next. Again, I just want it on the outside. And here the bar width and the bar height, you can change it. Just make it a little bit more, a little bit smaller here. Let's see how it works. Just to show you also that you can make this window for the cutting for your piezo a little bit smaller as well. So now you have something like this. All right. So I'm adding one inspection window here. Just have to see that this window, something like this, and I just get through here. I don't put any labels on. I apply this one, and this one is, I call it rename the help guide. Because sometimes, as I said, when you do this in one guide, in one step, it's not possible to get a connection here. Sometimes you have maybe some undercuts or whatever. And so this is a way for doing another guide or a different way. So this help guide, I will change into a 3D model. So convert into 3D model. So now I have it here. And now I do the surgical guide for my implant. Right. Now I extend this one a little bit more. Okay. Be all right. Maybe one more. Let's see. And now hitting the next button. Wall thickness, okay. Take that next. So I have this normal guide. Now I'm doing my inspection windows, especially the ones here. Of course, there's a third option. You make two guides. One guide for only the sinus lift, and the other guide for the implantation. But you can combine it. That's real easy. And now I have one guide. Just add another inspection window over here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm adding an object, and the object is 3D, so as the other object. So my object would be my help guide, like this. And so I have both guides combined. When I hit the next button, they melt kind of together, and I have something similar that I have before. And but I avoid some problems. Probably sometimes I had it a couple of times that I couldn't make the guide in one step because I always had something here in between that cut my window here, my cutting guide off, and I couldn't put it together. So I took two guides and just combined them here. And then actually we have the same result, a combination guide between like external sinus lift guide and drill guide for my implant. And you see when you grab our surgical guides, guide. So this is our new guide now. And the other one looked a little bit different. But you see here, you know, so things like that. Here, this little corner on that side here, because the bone has a little bit thing here, and the other guide. Well, that's a little bit thicker, and on this guide, I did everything a little bit more tiny, and depends a little bit how much force you put on it, and what kind of printer, what kind of material you have. That it's a very good printer. You can make the surgical guides really 2 millimeters wall thickness or 2.5 millimeter wall thickness. So that was it from my part.
All right, so perhaps we have some questions. Let's see.
Okay, should I switch tiling off, or it's okay? No.
Yeah, you can switch off the sharing. That's fine.
Huh?
You can switch off the sharing. That's fine.
Where is it? My bitumen. Okay. So now.
All right. Does anyone have a question for Thomas? Would like to see something else?
Hey, I didn't prepare anything else. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, I think everyone is satisfied now. It's great. So yeah, I guess we've come to the end of the user meeting. We hope you enjoyed the lectures and the workshops, and we hope to see you again next year for the next user meeting. And I'll say
maybe just a suggestion. If anyone has like an idea what he wants to see, or can prepare something for the next lecture, if there's something special, maybe something difficult that you want to see, and it would be great to help you out with those things. Thank you very much, and have a nice day or evening wherever you are.
Yeah, and a good night for some people.
Okay.
All right, then goodbye and likes.
Good night. Bye-bye. you.